And hello there folks, me RJB from RJBTV and welcome back to the channel. I started recording the video on the wrong slide, but I don't think it matters too much. We're just jumping right into the match here with me, your host RJB, as we are witnessing Rabbit against 458 with 458 here on the 7 o'clock spawn location on the white Protoss. And we have Rabbit there on the red Terran on the top middle of the map. So far, the score is heavily in favor for 458, as you can see at the top of the screen. Rabbit has really been giving us boatloads of evidence that he is, in fact, one of the best fastest 1v1 players in the world by smacking 458 around like his bitch with cerebral smart play. It's not fancy play. It's smart play. That is, in certain scenarios, kind of built around taking a lot of risks, but somehow he manages to mitigate all of the damage every single other player would take doing the exact same thing and get the maximum out of literally the least and the greediest build orders that I've ever seen in my life. He just manages to make them work. But this might be something that might catch him by surprise right here, because 458 goes for a pylon on 8 and a gas on 8 and a gateway on 10, going straight for the very fast Dragoon build order. He's going to get 2 more gateways and a pylon after this one, then get a cyber core, and then he's going to go for the triple Dragoon all at once with singularity charge at the same time. Like, by the time his Cybercore finishes, he will have about 450 minerals and 300 gas. This build order is one of my favorites. It works very, very well, but it does require some multitasking, and it does require you to be very precise with your spending and to be exactly on time with pretty much everything you do, and mistakes cannot be made because mistakes will backfire and kill you. Let's very quickly jump over to Rabbit's base, where he started off with a double barracks build order, scouting the map there with the Marines and with the SCV. He wants to find his opponent quick and try to go for a small little rush on a choking Protoss. That's kind of the idea behind this. If the Protoss does a Nexus first, you want to find them as fast as you can and prevent the cannons in the choke from finishing up. That's kind of the idea behind this build order here from Rabbit. Although he might also just, scout 458 very early on and damage his probes with the Marines that are coming across the map before Dragoon spawn, but he's actually buying himself quite a bit of time there by pulling the Marine away with the probe. Not on purpose, it just happened, but he pulled the Marine away. Like, if the Marine had not been pulled away, it would have arrived like 7 or 8 seconds earlier and gotten maybe 1 probe kill, maybe 2 probe kills, or maybe just force some probes off the minerals, and that would of course hurt his economy. He still gets in here though and starts the attack. 1 probe will die. Dragoon's coming out there to kill the Marine, and the Marine does die before he gets kill number 2. And now it's time for 458 to start the counterattack. But Rabbit, of course, having scouted the exact build order that 458 is doing, goes for an academy and a double gas in the back to get his own Marine range up very, very fast. He might even go for a fast factory here. Now, do note that Rabbit is not producing Marines at the moment because he got supply blocked by accident. That is a small little oversight. It should not happen at this level of play. You should not get supply blocked, because getting supply blocked can backfire terribly and can spell your early demise, because he is on way less Marines than he should be. He's gonna get his factory right about now as his gas is accumulating and his minerals are growing in size as well. Goes for an engineering bay in the back as well, so he's got triple bunker there in the front, keeping the Dragoons at a pretty safe distance, waiting for range to finish up. He's building the robotics on the middle as well. I've seen 458 do this build order before. He starts off with Dragoon pressure on the choke, which forces SCVs to come to the front, and then he goes for a robotics on the middle. And then he goes for a Reaver push from the middle to hit the bunkers from a safe distance and really dish out some pain on those bunkers and try to push through before the tank arrives. And this might actually work. He's got double robot on the middle. Tank is almost factory is almost finished up there in the back. He's got a scan there ready to go to scan Rabbit's 458's base, or maybe to scan against Dark Templars, because some players, they go for this build order with Dragoons into Dark Templars That's why he's building turrets very early on, because he isn't quite sure what 458 is doing. He doesn't know, is he going to go for fast robos, or is he going to go for fast Dark Templars? He does not know, he has no information on that specifically, he only knows it is a Dragoon build order. So he's playing this very, very safe with the double turret there, just to be sure, just to be safe. He's also saving up his scan energy, because maybe, just maybe, the Dark Templars will get shuttled into the base, and that of course needs the scan to be available. So he's being very slow on siege mode. He's getting it now. The tank and the siege mode both got delayed by about 10 seconds or 15 seconds after the machine ship finished. So those 15 seconds of being too slow on the tank and the siege mode might actually hit him pretty badly. Now he is getting a very early start port, so he's probably going to go for a Wraith or a control tower with a dropship to go for a tank drop. It's a Wraith. He really wants to snipe the shuttle out of the sky. He's expecting a shuttle to be coming out from somewhere. What are getting turrets on the sides? Like, the fact that 458 didn't actually do a lot of bunker harassment with the Dragoons is making a Rabbit feel uneasy, because it might imply that a Rabbit did not invest as many minerals into Dragoons as a Rabbit was expecting. So Rabbit is now probably expecting drops to be flying in very, very soon. And he might be very wrong, because there's no shuttles at all on the map. It's a Reaver push over the front. Now note how the tank there is exactly within range. He's going to try to break through. Dragoons are coming forward. Zealots are coming forward as well. Reavers are shooting there on the bunkers. He's not target firing. He's breaking through very slowly. Gonna have to kill the tank there in the back. The Dragoons are taking lots of damage, but the tank goes down. This tank all the way in the back is too far away to hit the Reavers. So the Reavers can break through safely from a distance and kill this. Okay, that one went down. Almost too close. There's nothing inside that bunker. He's gonna take the tank down. The tank being dead is a huge, huge problem. One more tank that arrives in the front. There's not enough Marines in the bunkers. There's only 7 Marines. Stims them and reloads them. Then we're gonna take it down before he can get in the bunker. I think Rabbit might just die to this attack. That's purely because Rabbit he just didn't know what was coming. Like, this is a very novel and very rare build order that 458 is doing. You almost never see this. Like, maybe once every 30 games, you will see a Protoss go for this. And actually, the only player I've seen do this is 458. Like, 458 does this, like, once every X number of games, and it catches you by surprise because you're just expecting shuttles. And you know what? The funny part about this entire series so far is 458 has not played a shuttle build order a single time in 4 games. He's always been going for something else. He's really mixing things up. He's mixing things up, trying things out, trying to discover alternatives to what people usually do. He's trying to reinvent the meta into something else. He's gonna have to take that tank down with 2 shots, takes it down. Like, now, right now, there's literally nothing left here for Rabbit to defend himself with. There's just nothing left. He does not have enough production. The supply block hurt him, but the fact that he only went for double barracks hurt him. The fact that his siege mode and his tank were both about 15 seconds slower than they should have been hurt him as well. The distancing on his tank all the way in the back hurt him as well. He simply did not have enough units in the bunkers to protect himself from the attack. If he had more Marines in the bunkers, he probably would have survived. If his tanks were faster, he would have had 2 tanks instead of 1, and then he had 3 tanks instead of 2, he would have probably survived. Like, all those kind of things, they snowball into a disadvantage. And an advantage for 458. He just kept snowballing small little things on top of each other because Rabbit wasn't exactly on point with his timings, with his build orders, and he just was functioning on no information. All he knew was Dragoons are coming. Beside that, he had no idea what the hell was happening. He had no idea. Let's very quickly give 458 his first win on the board at the top, and let's scoot over to game number 5. And let me just change the video title. I forgot so many things. This is part number 3. Part number 3. Okay, let's scoot on over and find the next game. Rabbit against 458. Score 3 wins for Rabbit, 1 win for 458. We're going to game number 5. Rabbit back on the Zerg, and Protoss will be, of course, what 458 will be selecting to enter the arena and fight to the death for honor, pride, and glory. Okay, so Rabbit here on the white Zerg on the bottom right of the map, 5 o'clock spawn location, 4 of 8 on the 9 o'clock on the red Protoss. Now, is 458 going to do something else than he did in the previous Zerg against Protoss, where Rabbit managed to get away with 6 hatcheries before a single sunken? 458 just really got unlucky in that game. He died very quickly because Rabbit just cheated the entire system. He wasn't cheating like real cheating. He was just getting away with a build order so greedy that he basically skipped a couple corners and just arrived on location minutes faster than he should have under normal circumstances. Like maybe even 6 to 7 minutes faster than under normal circumstances. He just did a speed run to the finish line. Is it gonna work again or is it not? He's gonna go for a hatchery first, then of course an overlord. He's gonna probably go for a double hatchery pool, but I'm not too sure. He might go for a triple hatchery pool. I just don't know. I just do not know. With Rabbit, you never know how much risk he's going to take. Is he gonna go all the way in? Is he gonna go maximum risk? Or is he gonna slightly minimize the risk compared to the previous tries? There's double hatchery there in the back. And then we have double gateway there from 458 into... Is he gonna go for triple gateway or 4 gateway, or is it going to be double gateway into a nexus? He's saving up a lot of minerals, so I expect this to be a double gateway, double zealots into a nexus, which is actually kind of a Protoss against Terran Bull Order, but against Zerg, I guess it does give you 2 zealots on the map to maybe start and do some harassment on Zerg. It really just depends on, is he going to do that or not? Because I can't quite read his mind at the moment, because is he going to save up minerals for a Nexus or not? Yeah, he's going to save up minerals, like his probe is in position to get the Nexus. So the Zealots are out, and we do have a triple hatchery, total of 4, into a poolable order here from Rabbit. It's very greedy. Will the Sunkens arrive on time? I don't think so, because the Zealots are already coming across the map, and Zerglings, he will have to build some Zerglings. And Rabbit can see the Zealots coming across, so he knows that something is up, so he's going to have to start a creep very, very soon. Or maybe he's just going to rely on Zerglings. Yes, a creep is coming up there in the back. But he might lose a couple of his drones, because the Zealots are already here, and the pool is not yet finished. So finally, Rabbit is going to get punished for his very risky playstyle. He's just trying to risk it so hard that sooner or later, it's going to backfire quite a bit. Now the probe's going to get taken down first. The drones cannot get onto the minerals. Yes, they can. So the Sunken finishes up. The Sunken, will it die or not? It will die, but there's a Sunken number 2. And Rabbit somehow manages to only lose 1 or 2 drones in total. This was not too bad. This was not too bad for Rabbit. Really. He also has just enough gas to get himself Zergling speed. Like exactly enough gas for Zergling speed. Gonna put the drones back on the minerals, gonna make some Zerglings, gonna try to go for a counterattack, and then it's gonna go bigger and bigger. But this time around, 458 got there early, unlike the previous game where they played Zerglings Protoss. So he knows what to do. He's making gateways, gonna go for 5 gateways. He's gonna try to prevent Rabbit from making a choke. This time around, he also has more zealots, so he has a little bit more power, a little bit more punch to him. He doesn't really have to care too much about the Zerglings, because he got the cannon in the back, or Zealots are on the way. He can counter pressure. Rabbit has to make the difficult choice of, do I defend and protect myself, or do I try to go for a run by and maybe kill the cannon in the back and kill some probes? And he decides to defend, as 458 also gets himself another cannon at his nexus, so even if he tried to go for a counterattack at this point, the Zerglings will not be able to kill both of those cannons, because the probes can move out of the minerals and kind of protect the cannons against the Zerglings. So a counterattack is not going to work. You have to fight for his life against the Zealots that are getting into his base. There's only one Sunken in the back, a couple of Zerglings there trying to defend, but kills a drone, maybe 2 drones, and pulls out. He pulls out, doesn't stay in there, so no little accidents happening, because he pulls out too late. always pull out on time, don't stay in too long, don't go in too deep. It's an important lesson to learn in life. So one Zeta there, Overlord going into 4 of 8's base to get additional information. Rabbit this time around is on a much lower amount of drones than it was in the second game, where he got away with like 30 drones at 5 minutes because he just could make so many drones because there was no threat of getting attacked. This time around, everything is looking different. So far, everything is going more or less in 4 of 8's way, although he's losing quite a big number of zealots here. Like, I think at this point you should just pull back the zealots, don't let them die, because then the Zerglings are achieving what they have to achieve, and that is reducing the amount of zealots, getting kills, getting results, which will allow Rabbit to once again scale up, become richer and bigger, and get his Hydralisks out onto the map, which is not exactly what 4 of 8 wants. 4 of 8 is slowly growing in economy, slowly getting more gateways. He's already on 5 in the back, 4 in the front for a total of 9. It's looking great. He's getting level 1 attack, getting Zealot speed. He's going to stick to Zealots for now and use the Zealots to overpower whatever that Rabbit can have. And the level 1 attack and the speed are going to be very important in that, because the Hydralisks and the Zerglings will die faster with those upgrades. Getting Singularity Charge, getting Dragoons. It is exactly what you got to do. Just go for a Gateway Army and force the Zerg to focus on defending against the Gateway Army, because the Zerg has to either prioritize making drones or making an army. If you force the Zerg to make army and not drones, you as a Protoss will sooner or later just be richer and bigger, because as a Protoss you can just keep making probes and produce army at the same time. The Zerg does not have that luxury. They have to make difficult choices. Do I go drone? Do I go army? Both at the same time usually doesn't happen. Usually does not happen. But Rabbit is feeling frisky, but he might be making a mistake here because he's on the chase, but Zealot speed is finishing up right now, and he turns around, has to retreat back home. 4 of 8's army and a supply are both growing nicely. Now Rabbit did find some time to add a couple more drones to the mix, but they're all going to be turned into sunken, so his economy, his income, won't grow much anytime soon. He's kind of locked into making drones, and drones alone for sunkens and army. So that's a big problem. So 4 of 8 now will soon level 1 attack. He's waiting for level 1 attack. But seeing the sunkens morphing there in the front, he might have to go sooner than after he has level 1 attack. You might have to go sooner, because if you give the Zerg more time to get all the defenses up and running, it does become a problem. It does become a problem for sure. So he goes in before level 1 attack, but Dragoon range is finished up, and that might be just what he needs. Level 1 attack needs like 20 more seconds or something like that. So he gets in there, starts killing the frontal line of Sunkens. He loses a lot of Zealots there though, but more Zealots are coming there from back home. The Dragoon's doing a great job of targeting the Sunkens. Sunkens are dying quickly. That's a big investment from Rabbit there. It is not really paying off as well as he would have liked to. He's going in deeper. Now he has to regroup, because now he's lost a lot of units, and if he goes and stays here, he will lose even more without really killing it that much, because everything is being bruised and battered, lost HP. He's now on 13 gateways. There's no robotics there yet. Getting high Templars now, getting Storm. Level 1 attack is finished up, getting level 2 attack very soon. I'm just really glad he's not getting level 1 shield first, because that would have been a bad choice. The level 1 attack is super important here. Some more Dragoons on the way, a couple Zealots, a couple High Templars. We've got the Lurker aspect they're upgrading for Rabbit. If he can get the Lurkers out onto the map before he dies, it will really slow 4 of 8 down, because 4 of 8 will then have to build robotics, an observatory, and fly an observer across the map before he can resume the attack, which is all time that Rabbit can use to go bigger and stronger. But Rabbit is still only on 37 drones. Exactly as I said before, the Protoss can keep adding probes to the economy. The Zerg has to kind of just use the drones for defense, not for economy. So his economy has barely grown over the past 4 minutes, whereas 4 of 8 has been growing steadily with his economy and his army both at the same time. You can see it in the supply. That's almost a double supply for 458. Goes for an attack, but the attack not quite as successful as he would have liked. Those, I'd say 6 Sunkens and I'd say about 5 Hydralisks. Not a great attack, but he's scaling and outscaling Rabbit. That's what matters most. 4 of 8 can afford to lose units, Whereas Rabbit cannot really afford to lose anything. He did go up to 48 drones though, and he's getting left one attack and Overlord speed. Lurker's almost ready to go. Lurker upgrade is finished. He can start morphing his Lurkers in the back. Does he have enough gas though for a good amount of Lurkers? I don't know. Does he have a good amount for enough Lurkers? So quick look there over at his base. Got a robotic, so he only has to get an observatory, and then he might be able to run Rabbit over. Rabbit is fighting well, but I'd say at this point he's simply too small. Things just did not go his way. Things did just not go his way, and he's paying the price for it. Like, he's much smaller than he wants to be. Our Lurkers are finished up, moving to the front, burrowing them up, a little bit close to each other. Like, these Lurkers can get stormed to death pretty easily. Yeah, 4v8 has done a great job of keeping Rabbit relatively small. Rabbit has seen some growth, just not a lot of growth. Like, the growth he has been experiencing is kind of negligible. Nice, building the no observatory on the map. No observatory. He's not building an observatory either. There it is. Yeah, there's the observatory. Gonna get the support bay as well. Start building shuttles, reavers, and observers all at once. It's got 3-4 robots on the middle. Couple cannons to make this easier to defend. Rabbit is growing nicely. He's growing really nicely. But 4v8 has grown much, much faster. But Rabbit there picks up some units to go for a drop attempt. Oh, there's really not much there in the back to protect him, although we do have cannons coming up. But the question becomes, will the cannons finish before the Overlords arrive, or will they die? Okay, that's a bad move there from Rabbit. Tried to push forward, storms, loses a couple units, but his front door defense is getting bigger and stronger. It all rests on these Overlords arriving before the cannons finish. But one cannon already finished, and 3 more very close to finishing. I don't think he's going to really do that much damage, because how much do we have in here? Oh, wait. Everything is completely filled up, like 20 Hydralisks, that's a pretty good number, and about 4 Lurkers. This is a pretty strong drop. He goes in, flies in, gonna unload those units, and maybe get some probe kills. He's running to safety, pulling the probes away, but not fast enough. Oh, he's gonna do it. Oh my god. So that's all it took. 4v8 was playing a very strong game. His observer was way too slow. If he had the observers way earlier, he would have won the game by pure brute force. But Rabbit manages to hang in there with a small economy, only 44 drones, and only 8 hatcheries in total. But he managed to hang in there, do exactly what he had to do, barely survived multiple times, managed to minimize the losses, and turn a bad situation around. Because 4v8 was just too slow. Like, he got out of here. Like, look at this. The pylons are finished, but these pylons started right after the Overlords flew over. Rabbit's timing was very, very good. He had these Overlords on the side, so he knew that 4v8 had not yet started his pylons on the side as a detection system to see stuff leaving the base. Just a little bit too slow, like 10 seconds too slow with these pylons. They had been there 10 seconds earlier. Maybe 15 seconds earlier, he would have seen the Overlords leaving. He would have been able to pull units back home and keep his economy alive, keep his base alive, because right now, like, there's no way he's going to keep the probes alive and the Nexus is alive. He just did not have enough protection. Only had 6 cannons. Only 6 cannons. He should have had like 10 already. He was just so focused on this frontal fighting, the aggression, the pressure, which was exactly what he had to do. He just forgot one crucial thing. Protect the Nexus. Just a little bit too slow with this side coverage. So Rabbit goes to 4 wins over 4-5-8. And this just goes to show that even a Protoss can just abruptly die out of nowhere. Because a Zerg player makes one great move. Usually it's the other way around, with a Protoss making a great drop and a Zerg just deflating with no economy and dying. I'm glad that Rabbit showed us that it can also be the other way around. Sometimes the Zerg is the person who can swiftly end the game with a surgically precise attack.